On June 13, 2025, Israel carried out a massive, coordinated campaign of precision airstrikes aimed at crippling Iran's nuclear and military capabilities. The mission, codenamed Rising Lion, was the result of months of surveillance and intelligence gathering. Our research has uncovered the hidden network of Iranian nuclear sites, some buried deep beneath mountains, others sitting openly under civilian cover. Each facility contributes to a larger, more alarming puzzle. But to truly grasp the stakes, we need to understand why Israel is going to such lengths to halt Iran's uranium enrichment. According to Israeli intelligence, Iran's advanced centrifuges may be just days away from producing weapons-grade material. This episode will also detail how nuclear weapons are made, explore Israel's strategic approach, and break down each targeted site, revealing the deeper reasons behind this explosive turn of events. Then there's the Natanz complex, which includes multiple sites, 2 enrichment stations, a vast underground fuel enrichment plant, FEP, and an above-ground pilot fuel enrichment facility. Next is Isfahan, Iran's largest nuclear technology center, located on the city's outskirts. It includes the fuel plate fabrication plant and a uranium conversion facility, which transforms uranium into uranium hexafluoride, the feedstock for centrifuges. Another important location is Kondab, home to a partially built heavy water reactor. Originally named Arak, this site has been restructured but remains concerning. Lastly, there's Bushehr, Iran's only operational nuclear power plant. It runs on Russian-supplied fuel, which is returned to Russia after use, helping to minimize the risk of weaponization. To better understand what Israel is targeting, let's simplify Iran's uranium enrichment process. It starts with uranium ore, which is drilled and extracted via a widening pilot hole. The ore falls into an extraction chamber and is collected by a remotely operated bulldozer, keeping workers at a safe distance from rockfalls. After this, the uranium is crushed, refined, and fed into centrifuges for enrichment. Everyone's talking about centrifuge technology, but let's look at how it really works. In this visual, green dots represent uranium-238 atoms, while blue dots show uranium-235 atoms. Natural uranium contains just 0.7% uranium-235. For comparison, low-enriched uranium, LEU, used in power plants, is around 5%, while weapons-grade uranium contains 90% uranium-235, with almost all uranium-208 removed. Now for a basic breakdown. The centrifuge is a cylindrical chamber with a spinning motor at the base and a feeding tube at the top. Uranium enters as a gas, uranium hexafluoride. As the motor spins at ultra-high speeds, the heavier uranium-238 is pulled toward the bottom, while the lighter uranium-235 rises and is collected separately. This process continues until the uranium is enriched to the desired level. Now let's see how Israel carried out its strike. Around 3:30 a.m., approximately 200 Israeli fighter jets launched a wave of attacks, dropping over 330 precision munitions on a range of nuclear and military facilities, including uranium enrichment plants and missile assembly centers. But this wasn't a simple in-and-out raid. It required meticulous planning, involving air-to-air refueling routes and synchronized paths through Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. To protect their aircraft and ensure mission success, Israel first neutralized anti-air defenses in Iraq and Syria. The offensive was executed in 3 strategic waves. The first wave focused on surface-to-air missile, air defense command centers in Tehran, Elam, and Keistan. The second wave then zeroed in on Iran's ballistic missile arsenals, while the third phase dismantled military production facilities. To avoid detection and neutralize Iranian air defenses, Israel deployed its ROKS air-to-surface missiles, which enabled accurate strikes from standoff distances, allowing jets to remain outside Iranian borders. Notably, Iran's Bavar 373 air defense system performed more effectively than anticipated. In this video, we'll also examine how this missile system operates and assess the current strength of Iran's Air Force. Let's first take a closer look at the Israeli Air Force assets involved. Leading the mission were F-35 stealth fighters, F-16S for aerial defense, and F-15 strike aircraft, all covering over 1,600 kilometers, roughly 1,000 miles. Their primary weaponry included the Blue Arrow supersonic missile and the ROKS advanced standoff missile. Given the long-range, mid-air refueling tankers supported the aircraft throughout, ensuring combat readiness against possible Iranian jet engagements, especially during the return leg. The ROKS is Israel's next-gen, extended-range ballistic missile capable of striking relocated or mobile targets. These weapons rely on GPS-based inertial navigation to get within proximity of a target, then shift to infrared imaging seekers during the final approach to ensure precise impact. This technology enables deep penetration or blast fragmentation, depending on mission needs. Interestingly, Iranian systems such as the Bavar 373 and S-300 successfully intercepted several Israeli drones and a few incoming missiles. So how does the Bavar 373 work? It uses Sayad-4 interceptor missiles, stored in dual rectangular launch containers. The platform incorporates phased array radar, capable of tracking both aircraft and missile threats over medium to long distances. One of its radars, the Marriage 4, reportedly has a range of 450 km and can follow up to 200 targets simultaneously, according to Iranian claims. Now, let's go over the three distinct phases of the Israeli assault. The first wave struck vital elements of Iran's aerial defenses, including radar arrays and SAM batteries in cities like Tehran, Elam, and Qubs, significantly weakening Iran's early warning systems. Iran's Air Defense HQ later confirmed these strikes, which disrupted the country's ability to track and intercept incoming aircraft. The second wave targeted Iran's missile programs, especially focusing on disabling ballistic and hypersonic missile bases. According to verified sources, at least 3 missile storage or launch facilities were heavily damaged. In addition, IDF drones targeted Iran's high-security Parshan military site just outside Tehran. While several drones were downed, one managed to breach defenses and hit its target. These actions were meant to cripple Iran's capacity to retaliate with missile strikes. The third and final phase concentrated on degrading Iran's military production infrastructure and logistics. Strikes were aimed at the Qadiri Barracks, Hassan Khan Castle, a prominent missile production hub, as well as the Sepah Air Force Logistics Center and Imam Ali Barracks. All these were reportedly targeted to disrupt the country's military supply chains and command hierarchy. Israel's strikes also focused on Iran's Fateh-1 and Fateh-2 missile systems, reportedly deployed for the first time in this conflict. These advanced ballistic missiles are distinguished by their ability to exit the atmosphere using aerodynamic control fins for re-entry maneuvering. A design specifically engineered to evade Israel's renowned Arrow missile defense system. The ballistic missiles launched from ground platforms that targeted IDF bases were a top priority for Israeli forces to eliminate. A major objective is also the dismantling of the Shahab-3, the backbone of Iran's medium-range missile arsenal, which runs on liquid fuel. When deployed from orbit, military-grade satellites can detect high-value targets, like deeply protected bunkers. It's believed that Israel has tested the newly developed LoRa missiles, feeding precise coordinates to strike aircraft, enabling pinpoint attacks without crossing into Iranian airspace. Meet Laura, a ballistic missile designed for extreme accuracy, built to take out critical infrastructure far inside enemy territory. Whether launched from stealth jets or larger mission aircraft, Laura offers long-range engagement with lightning-fast response times, all while staying outside the range of hostile defenses. The missile achieves this by diving onto its target from a steep 90-degree angle at supersonic speeds, giving adversaries little to no time to respond. This air-launched ballistic weapon is not only capable of breaching modern missile defense shields, but it also carries a large warhead, guided through GPS and inertial navigation systems that are resistant to jamming, ensuring the destruction of strategic enemy targets with a single, high-impact strike. You might be wondering, where were Iran's fighter jets? And how do they measure up against Israeli air power in this offensive? Let's break that down in stages. To challenge Israel's F-16 and F-35 stealth fighters, Iran deployed the leading edge of its air fleet, primarily American-made jets from the pre-revolution era. First, the F-4 Phantom, which forms the core of Iran's offensive air wing. Around 64 active units bought under the Shah's regime. Then there are roughly 40 F-14 Tomcats, also U.S.-built, which still retain advanced radar and missile tracking abilities, capable of contesting the F-35 under the right conditions. Additionally, Iran has around 30 MiG-29 multi-role fighters, sourced from Russia, originally engineered as a direct counterpart to the F-16. While aging, this fleet can still present a credible threat in coordinated air operations. On the ground, Iran's second line of defense includes the $800 million zero-sense S-300 missile defense system,